afternoon, welcome back to Infinity GT Manufacturers Series Season 5 League 3 Tokyo Expressway in the loop. In the darkness, as you can see, we've got our headlights on. I'll go through certain rules and tyre compounds during the race itself. But sticking it on pole position is Jardy Boy in the Jaguar. Last lap, he done this on his last hot lap, so he just pulled it out of the bag and grabbed that pole position. Kiwi in second in the VW Scirocco. Myself, Idle 4 Gaming in the BMW. Yes, I had a bit of change in livery. And then we have RMA in fourth in the Aston Martin. P1 Pilgrim in fifth in the McLaren 650S. P1 Tatey in the, what's it called? Nissan GTR in sixth. Rob Smith, first of the Fuel Savers. In seventh position, his teammate, the other fuel saver, in eighth. Gwindon there, or yeah, Gwindon, yes, Gwindon, or Gwindon, or Gwindon. We'll call you Gwindon, shall we? Yes, Gwindon there in ninth. Thinking Darren, you're pronouncing it wrong, but yes, Gwindon or Gwindon. Gwindon is what it is, Gwindon. So hello, Gwindon. Chachillo, aka El Cazador there in 10th in the Jaguar. Beamer Man, with Slow Seamus in the Mercedes Benzio. P1 Winnie, would you call that? Winnie, yeah, Winnie. What car are you in? Is he in the... Oh, he's in the, what's that? A Renault thing. Yeah, some French thing. Yeah, Renault by the looks of it, yeah. Slow Seamus to the rear, exit the room. I got an invite off of Tux. So Tux, if you're watching this, I got your friend's request. I thought he was already on my list. Like 15 minutes into the race, so I couldn't obviously stop the race and then get you in and then carry on. But hopefully you'll be there for St. Croix A next week, or this week, or tomorrow, or whenever. 50-minute endurance ahead of us. Who can bring it out on top? Tyre compounds 2, racing soft, racing medium, 3 laps on each. Penalties burn them off within 2 laps, and it's a 50-minute race ahead of us. Fuel saving will be done by the 2 Porsche Caymans to the rear and a few other drivers as well. You can sometimes get your fuel all wrong, underestimate it, and you know, things can go bad wrong for you. But Jardy Bill already breaking away. I managed to jump up into second position. You're probably thinking, why have you got a different livery? Unfortunately, Sarah Etzik, my teammate, is no longer racing in Infinity, so I thought I'd just redo a livery. It isn't anything fantastic. It's just a normal design by me. So P1 Tatey there in 6th position. I think he's going to be here for the full season. See, going back there, we go back to the likes of, let's go back to P1 Pilgrim. I think a few cars outbrake themselves at this this right hander coming up now. So we look behind, yeah, they Kiwi one of them, and we've got Rob Smith as well. So yeah, a few cars outbrake themselves. It's easily done. And Nath there just going over that corner, keeps it nice and composed. Bit of contact there to Rob Smith, and he's actually drifting it. So already things are getting a little bit heated midfield. I dropped down to 4th. With that happening, that right-hander, I just backed off a little bit. So P1 Tatey now leads the way. So can he extend that gap? Let's get this up. That would help, so you can see what is what and who's doing what. But I'm not going to have it on, actually. We're going to have it like this today. We're going to have it like this, so you don't see no tyre information, no fuel. It will just play a guess the tyre which they're on. So P1 Tatey, RMA was flat out on it right about now, early on into the race. See looking to the inside there of Jardy Boy, and he's still on the inside there. Jaguar better top end than the Aston Martin. And we have got the Nissan GTR in the lead. I'm there in the BMW, the solo BMW M4. I can see these 3 up ahead. A little bit of a gap to P1 Pilgrim. Yeah, right, let's go back to this in a minute. So, going back to this now, it was a difficult one to call. So if we look, we've got Charlie Boy there, a little bit of contact as Charlie Boy turns in. So going back and look at that again, it looks like the contact, the first bit of contact from Charlie Boy, he turned in and he clipped the front end, and I just think that forced RMA out a bit wide into the barrier, and they both come together, and unfortunately RMA's got it all to do, and Nave was actually caught up in that as well. I didn't realise that. Where's Nave? Where are you two, Navey boy? Where are you two? So Nave is going to pick up last bits of this incident as he exits ghost mode and he's straight into the rear. I didn't realise that happened in the race, and it's all kicking off at the back of the grid there. So there's all things going on. It's like a playground at the minute. What's going on? But they're all right now. They're all right. Nave, unfortunately, to the rear of the field. Beamer Man, his first outing for the Infinity Series. Winnie as well, Winnie or Winnie or Winnie, I think it's Winnie. RMA now down to 10th when he was up in 3rd. Batting away, Rob Smith in 9th, Slow Seamus in 8th position. Gwindon in 7th with El Cazador in 6th, Kiwi in 5th, Pion Pilgrim to 5th, Kiwi now up to 4th. The Scirocco had really good top end along the straights. Charlie Boy in 3rd, myself in 2nd position, coming under pressure now from Kiwi. During practice I felt okay, but in the actual qualifying and the race the pace just seemed to back off, and it's because I was having all sorts of problems. The game kept going back to home screen. I was getting a little bit lag, other cars glitching, and my race time didn't register at the end, etc, etc. It said I didn't finish when I did. So all sorts of things happening that evening. We do head on to St. Croix A, which is a nice track. I think that will be my last race for a week or two, depending on how I go on at the hospital. But anyway, apart from that, Rob Smith in 8th position now. So let's look back at Rob Smith. He's got Gwindon in front of him, RMA behind. Gwindon there, he's protecting, defending, just about. And Rob Smith is going to be sent around the long way because Gwindon is still there, but now actually Gwindon has lost a few positions. What is going on this evening? So Slow Seamus goes in now. What's happened with Slow Seamus? On board now with Slow Seamus. Does he get it all wrong? The right hairpin, maybe? The hairpin underneath the bridge? Or does he outbrake himself? He does outbrake himself massively. Hello, Barrier. How are you? Yes, well, I'm fine, Slow Seamus. Carry on, my son, carry on. So yeah, Slow Seamus now got Nath behind him, so Nath is still recovering from that incident. Beamer Man still hanging in there. Winnie there as well. Gwindon now in 9th. Rob Smith just in front of him. So these two be having a little private battle going on, and all the while, further up we go. RMA's in 7th now, so he's doing okay. He's recovering well. Pilgrim, Kiwi in the VW Scirocco. Myself in 2nd. Fastest lap at the minute, 2:06.542. Then we got P1 Tatey already extending that gap. Now hopefully this doesn't blue screen. Thank God for that. 1.6 second gap. Fastest lap by Kiwi at 2:06.455. So Kiwi is on it. Me, I got the attention of Kiwi now. You see what I mean? This VW Scirocco just had so much power along the straight. In the corners it lost it. But the rest of the, the straights and the other straight, it just caught up to my rear end quite rapidly. So now, around about this point, I thought, right, let's got to try and bridge that gap between myself and Kiwi. Let's see what I can do. It worked over a few laps. I didn't put away straight away because the top end on that VW Scirocco is absolutely immense. It's frightening, to be honest with you. P1 Tatey and now being closed by myself when I'm in 2nd, and P1 Tatey's in 1st position. So purple sector there for myself. P1 Tatey just up the road, around about 2.5 seconds. Kiwi still lurking there in the background in 3rd position. It's like, yes, Darren, I can see you. You're not going to get away so easy, and I didn't, to be honest with you. I really did not. Charlie Boy in 5th. Tochillo in 6th. RMA in 7th. Rob Smith in 8th. Gwindon in 9th. But it is pronounced Gwindon or Gwindon or Gwindon. Anyway, I've said Gwindon for a couple of seasons now, so that's his name. Winnie there in 10th. I don't know if he'll be doing all season. What's going on back here again? This time, Beamer Man. Beamer Man. Beamer Man. Have you got a BMW for a car then, have you? So does he outbrake himself? Does Winnie there catch Beamer Man out? But I think he does a little bit. And unfortunately now he's into that wall. You know, got off the wall and straight back onto that accelerator. He wants that 10th off of him up ahead. So Beamer Man there just biding his time and waiting for his opportunity to pass you in 10th position. Yes. So then down we go. Nave up to 12th. Slow Seamus 13th. Leading the way still on lap number, what are we on, 3. But he's slowly coming under pressure now from myself and Kiwi. So my livery, I just changed it. It was the red and white because I was teamed up with Sarah Etzik, so I just changed it to like a green yellow sort of effect. Obviously I've got the mandatory decals on there. We are driven. It's okay not to be okay. Infinity decals as well. Digital car culture. And yeah, it's multiple charities going on. Well, multiple groups raising funds for charity, helping out. Mental health awareness still a big thing. Archie's journey out there as well. But I've heard about another one. Lissy, is it? I think. I'm not clued up on that Lissy. I think it's a young girl, but in time I'm pretty sure if I can find out a little bit more, then I can support them and apply a decal to the car. I'm sure everyone else would as well, just to show the support to the family that we are thinking about them. Peon Pilgrim there in 4th position with Charlie Boy in 5th. So now this battle isn't over yet. We're only 7 minutes in. We've got 40 minutes to go. Now Kiwi was still there, and Kiwi was just pressuring me constantly, and by him pressuring me I was using more fuel. I didn't want to use a lot of fuel, so I wanted to lift and coast, but I couldn't, because as you see, Kiwi is in prime attack mode, you know, prime attack mode. There's me on the inside, and he's looking around the outside, and I think he actually looked for the switch back here, go down the inside of both of us, but with me there and Tatey down the outside, it was hard for him to do. So now I'm pressuring P1 Tate. It was difficult around this track, the overtaking, I found, because practice to qualification to race it, the car just felt differently. I started on the racing soft as well. I didn't do the racing medium to the end, but the car just felt totally different. It was horrible, to be honest with you. But P1 Tatey there clipped into the barrier, so that slowed him up a little bit. So he knew what he'd done. He clipped the barrier, so that slowed him down. Now I'm in the slipstream, and it's for me to pass P1 Tatey safely, which I do, I think. No, I just back off of it, sorry. I back off of it. Think better of it. I could have attempted that overtake, but what's the point? You know, going to ruin his race and my race. So Kiwi there, still biding this time behind us in 3rd position, and they're still behind P1 Tatey, and I can't remember where I got him, but we'll come back to this in a minute. Anything else happening? P1 Pilgrim now broke away from RMA and Charlie Boy. Charlie Boy now down to 6th when he did qualify in pole position. But he isn't out of the question yet, nor is his teammate Chilo Gwindon. Nave settling towards the rear gap, superior, but I think it's about the battle at the front this moment in time. There's a 3-car battle for 1st. P1 Pilgrim slowly making his way up in 4th position with RMA closely behind, but RMA is being caught by Charlie Boy as well, and Chachillo there, and Rob Smith, so they're closing as well. But here we go. So P1 Tatey on board now with P1 Tatey looking back to me and Kiwi. I can't remember why I passed P1 Tatey. I think it was quite far in, to be honest with you, maybe a few more laps, but I got that man Kiwi in the background. He's got that half a second penalty, and he will have to burn that off within that 2 lap, within 2 laps. That's the rulings, and I think I can't remember. Did I look to the inside? No, I don't think I did. Kiwi there. Yeah, I think I went to the inside there at P1 Tatey. Yes, I did. Yeah, I thought it was a couple laps after, but yeah, I got that move done onto him. I ran it a bit too wide, almost into that barrier. So now P1 Tatey has got my slipstream now. So P1 Tatey is now going to follow me and save that fuel, look after them tyres as well. So this at this point, precise point, I pushed it so hard just to try and extend that gap. As you can tell, the way the car's reacting, I just wanted to extend that gap so when I pit, the time isn't so large when I come out of the pits, because I knew full well Rob Smith, who is in 8th, and Nath, there'll be one stop in this. There'll be one stop in this, because they save so much fuel in that GR4 Porsche compared to the GR3. It's absolutely unbelievable. So I tried to match them like Dragon Trail, but unfortunately it didn't go to plan. Winnie there, he's in the I wonder why he's in the Renault. Was he a stand-in for someone, or is he new to the league? He may be new to the league. If he's new to the league, welcome. I think P1 Tatey's committed to the league now. Or was he with, actually he might have been with, no, Winnie was with Pilgrim, so he might not have had the McLaren 650S. So yeah, I think Winnie was with P1 Pilgrim. Because he didn't have the car, he went for the Renault. I don't know how that stands in regards to points and stuff like that. So I'm extending the gap now to myself and Kiwi. Kiwi, he has took that second, and it's 1 second gap. But I did extend that gap lap after lap. So as you tell by my livery, I did change it. I don't know what's going on with the yellow at the back. I'll sort that out anyway. Great livery, Darren. Great livery. You're a perfectionist at livery. No, I'm not. The digital car culture, sim effects. It's okay not to be okay. Affinity as well. We Are Driven. I got on that car as well. Just a few other ones as well. You know, just to spruce it up a little bit. Colours which I like. Idlepool Gaming. That's my channel on the front. We Are Driven Foundation on the front of that car as well. And you know, it's to support different groups, and it's mandatory to run certain decals in this league. It has been for quite a long time. P1 Tatey now down to third, dropping away from Kiwi in that second position. P1 Pilgrim half a second penalty, well just under, but RMA is he's closing that gap now to P1 Pilgrim. So RMA in that Aston Martin doing a good job, just recovering to see if he can get back up to the podium. So what Charlie Boy qualified on pole position, having a difficult first stint, but I think he was fuel saving as well. As you can tell, he's short shifting. So yeah, he's fuel saving like Rob Smith as well. So Rob Smith will be fuel saving. They always do. They do it more in the GR4 Porsche than the GR3. I don't think the GR3 Porsche is as good as a GR4. So when it comes to GR4 races, you always got to have one step ahead of these Porsches, but it never plans out that way. But the GR3, the BMW seems to be a bit better on fuel than the Porsche. Tochillo there, not too far behind Rob Smith. We're 13 minutes in, and we've got a while to go yet. Pit stops won't happen just yet. For those that have used a lot of fuel and burnt their tyres off, pit stops will happen. You could do the races off, then racing medium. Yeah, that's how I done it, and that cost me a lot of time. Wind on there in the Nissan behind Tochillo, so he again will be saving that fuel. How we can tell, no he's not, he's full rev in that car, so he isn't saving fuel. When Tochillo, I think he will be saving fuel like his teammate, just to get on by that Jaguar that easy. It doesn't always look that easy because the Jaguar is quite good top end. So I think the two Jaguars like the Porsches are saving a bit more fuel. Nath now recovering up to 10th position. Winnie there in 11th. Beamer Man in 12th with Beamer Man's teammate Slow Seamus in 13th. He did qualify Slow Seamus, but he backed out to see if there was troubles getting into the room. I did have difficulties that evening, and I, Tux, sorry, but I got your friend's request a bit too late. So I'm leading away on lap number 7. I will do it on board lap with me quickly. I'm not the best at this track. I felt okay in practice, as I said. So we're now heading around this left-hand end into the start timing line now. So on board with myself, Idlepool Gaming. So drop it down, a bit of a straight. Then we go up to the left-hand. It's not a heavy braking. It's a slight brake. Drop it down a couple of gears. Straight back onto that accelerator. Long straight, dropping downhill into the tunnel, and then we'll exit the tunnel going up a slight incline. Then we go to the right hander, heavy braking section at the end of the straight. Behind, I'm breaking away from Kiwi, so as you can tell, I'm using a lot more fuel than I should really. So braking now, clip that apex, and again you can almost keep it in second or third, it's your choice. This is difficult. Try not to pick up a penalty. You overrun these corners, you will get that half a second penalty. So now this one here is lift it, drop it down a gear, coast it in, let the car just drift in. As you can tell there, I let off the accelerator, then I'm straight back onto that throttle. So then I pull it back up to 5th. Another tunnel, another bit of a straight. BMW lapped it a bit on the straights. There was better cars out there, and the VW Scirocco was one of them. So now twisting left, right. Then we go to flat out right-hander as we exit the tunnel. Keep it left, flat out on the right, and then we go to the right hairpin underneath the motorway or whatever it is, or the railway line. So underneath the bridge now. Keep it in tight. The BMW didn't like it. It always went out a bit too wide. Uphill now, not too far to go to end this lap. On lap number 8. Head on to lap number 9. So again, I'm half a second slower. So I'm using the tyres a bit too much. Using that fuel as well. Trying to hug it. As you can tell here, the tyres are screaming at me. I was overdoing it. I was over pushing it. When I shouldn't, I should just took it nice and easy. So now, this left-hander, try not to clip the barrier on the outside, which I do not do. Hello train, how are you? But now we head to the start timing line, and that's a complete lap number 8. Not the perfect lap. There's people on this track that can do the better lap than me. Kiwi's one of them. P1 Tatey falling back now from Kiwi in that 3rd position, but he's coming under pressure now from P1 Pilgrim. Slowly closing, bit too far ahead P1 Tatey, but Pilgrim is closing that gap. Like this gentleman here, RMA is closing that gap as well in that 5th position. And you can see P1 Pilgrim is getting closer, so RMA, this precise time, is closing that gap to the 4th, and you can see 3rd up ahead as well. So the podium isn't out for RMA just yet. Charlie Boy saving that fuel alongside Rob Smith as well, saving that fuel. So Rob Smith behind Jardy Boy, he's saving fuel as it is. He can save even more. Short shift behind Jardy Boy, lift and coast, lean it to 3 and 4 if he wanted to, just to save even more. Went on there as well. I don't think he's saving fuel, but I think Chachillo was as well. Nath behind. I'm more intrigued to know if they was in chat together. Chachillo, Jardy Boy, Nath and Rob Smith, because they, when I watch the replay after, I always have a quick watch to see what see if any incidents untowards or whatever like that, and it seemed to me like they had the same game plan, but I know they're different teams, you know, Jaguar and Porsche, and Rob's with Nath and Chachillo's with Jardy Boy, but what they were doing was almost identical on track into fuel saving, and just the general driving of the car, it seemed to be almost identical. But you know, I may be wrong. That's just how it seemed to me. Winnie there in the Renault Megane outbraked himself a little bit, so he's in 11th position. Pilgrim's in the pit, so we've got a few cars pitting now for a nice fresh set of soft tyres, but I'm still leading the way on lap number 9. I tried my best to save the fuel, and as you see there, the game, so if we go back a little bit, it was so frustrating. The game kept doing it. It kept going back to home screen. As you see, my lights will flash. That's because I went back to the home screen and placed it. See it there? It kept doing it, and it was very frustrating. I just think it was an off night that night, internet wise, in the home. But it's okay now. I'm having no issues now. No issues whatsoever. So I'll probably host the room for St. Croix A if they want me to. Just make sure I've got the certain drivers in the room so they can actually race on a Tuesday evening. P1 Tatey there in 3rd. Now gaps are appearing, cars are pitting. It's steadying out now. We're almost sort of halfway in towards the last 15 minutes or so. You will see things starting to unfold. The ones to watch ideally is the Porsches, most definitely, and the Jaguars. Do you see what I mean? It's sort of like identical. So Rob Smith as well. If we go in car with Rob Smith and how he's revving that car, he's not really giving it full revs inside that Porsche. And Charlie Boy maybe is now to break away from Rob Smith. And if we watch, no, he's not. He's short shifting. So that's the point I was getting. I'm not saying they're copying each other. It just seems, you know, they seem to have the same strategy throughout the race. P1 Tatey there, it's just me being paranoid probably. P1 Tatey there, myself in the pits now. I thought the pit stops would be quite long. They dragged on for like 25 seconds, somewhere around there. I was like, God, where's the car? Have I lost the car in the pits? But Charlie Boy now will take the lead of the race. But you know what we're going to do? Because I'm more intrigued to see this, actually. So, there's his fuel in that car. As I'm saying that, Charlie Boy and Rob Smith, fair play to them. This is their game plan. They're all in chat together, chatting away. But look at this fuel, ladies and gentlemen. They are almost identical on fuel. The tyre wear as well, almost identical. I know Rob Smith's got a little bit more. Nath as well. He's saving the most fuel out of the top two. And Chichillo's going a long way in. Now Chichillo doesn't, from the previous rounds, he doesn't normally go this far, and I think he's worked it out now. He's thinking, right, save fuel, go longer. Yeah, I get your point. But as you see there, I underfueled, and that was my mistake. So I underfueled this car at my first pit stop, and I really should have fueled up fully, because when I went onto the racing medium, I then could have splashed and dashed it, and quite possibly had the fuel to get to the end and battled for the win of the race. But as you see there, I messed things up with the game playing up, connection issues. I was just annoyed. Slow Seamus there, up to sixth, still yet to pit, but he will pit. He's in sixth position. Kiwi there out of the pits, so on a fresh set of racing super soft, and he's done the right thing, fueled up that car. But P1 Program again, he's slowly behind Kiwi, but he's got the jump onto P1 Tatey. So in that first pit, he again has underfueled like me. P1 Tatey's actually fueled up, so he can go quite far further into the race. RMA as well, Gwindon there in 11th position. Winnie there in 12th, quite a way back now, and Beamer Man in 13th position. Charlie Boy, he's still not going to pit, and he's still got Rob Smith behind. Nath is up to third now, with Chichillo staying out as well. Fascinating, this, isn't it? It's fascinating. They're all saving fuel. The top four. Do you not get bored of saving fuel? I just want to flat out race me. It's how I am. But St. Croix A, it's going to be difficult. 3 minute 5 lap around there. 3 minute 4, depending who you are, or 3 minute 1 if you're on League 1. You won't be saving this amount of fuel, because trust me, when you go around St. Croix A, it's such a long circuit. By the time you save that fuel, you could technically be lapped. That's just how it is, I hope they practice around that track, because it is enjoyable. But each to their own, they fuel save, do it. I'm not judging them, I'm just saying. But let's have a flat out proper race on Tuesday before I have my week or so away. Yeah, let's see what they're made of. So P1 Pilgrim there in 7th, P1 Tatey in 8th, Gwindon in 9th, RMA in 10th, P1 Winnie there in 11th, Beamer Man in 12th, Slow Seamus in 13th position. So there's not much battles going on, except from these two here, and they're not battling, they're saving fuel. And Nathan Chichillo as well. This is the closest so far, and I know P1 Pilgrim is slowly catching to the rear of Kiwi, but I think that at this stage now, Kiwi was just taking it in his stride, taking it nice and easy. P1 Pilgrim as well, because apparently if you short shift that McLaren halfway, you can save a lot of fuel as well. P1 community there, Baggy, unfortunately the gentleman can't no longer race. He's not well enough to race, so support here for him. Everyone's thinking about him right about now, hence why Winnie stepped in for P1 Baggy. But I hope everything's okay with Baggy. P1 Tatey there in 8th position, Gwindon there in 9th, RMA in 10th, Winnie in 11th, Beamer Man in 12th. These have actually finally pit Slow Seamus in 13th, so Nate's still going longer. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Lap number 12. I pitted on lap number 10. And these two are battling away. We got Kiwi and P1 Pilgrim battling away. Let's go back and have a look at that again, because it looked like P1 Pilgrim got the jump onto the VW pulls to the inside of the VW, and they're side by side racing respect there. P1 Pilgrim just jumps in front of QE, and now P1 Pilgrim has got that position over QE, so he's up to sit where they come out. They're just refueling these cars. Myself, Idleforth Game, and Nath there. Nath in first position. The time gap between us both is a 10-second gap, so I'll get the jump on him when he pits. But look, my fuel already is going down because Dippy Darren, yes, can tell you from Bristol, mate, has unfortunately underfueled that car and has technically, at this stage now, affected his race win. P1 Pilgrim in that fourth, being harassed now from Kiwi in fourth position. So Kiwi isn't letting P1 Pilgrim just pull away ever so easily. He's like, yes, I'm going to stay here behind you. Sorry, I just need a quick drink. So Kiwi behind P1 Pilgrim. He will get on by, but I just think he's saving a little bit as well behind. Pull to the right, he just glide on by one of the fastest cars of the VW, the GR4 group. RCZ a little bit quicker. I wish I had the RCZ right about now, but I'm enjoying the BMW. I never thought I would enjoy the BMW, but you know, it's been a good car, to be honest with you. Just the Group 4 isn't as good as a Group 3 compared to fuel. Charlie Boy in the Jaguar, Rob Smith in the Porsche, now at the pits. RMA down to 8th. RMA on the racing media in the mandatory compound. Probably just do 3 laps on them, get rid of them, and come back out and push it towards the end. You know, I always say Gwindon, but it's Gwydon. But I like saying Gwindon. It's different. It's different. Winnie there in 10th. El Cazador Tachillo in 11th position. Let's see what he can do. I think he's one to watch as well. Be My Man, he's got his teammate behind, which is Slow Shamer. So the two Mercedes doing okay, but it's a struggle around this track. I mean, that's sort of a power car for like long tracks, like you know, Dragon Trail around the straight and stuff like that. Spa as well could be another one. But yeah, it's each to their own. Some people enjoy the car, some people don't. But Slow Shaman said, just sit behind his teammate, just biding his time. They're working together, trying to save that fuel. Up we go, a couple, because we need to go to the front. Myself leading away on lap number 14. Kiwi in second position with P1 Pilgrim in third. So Kiwi again has got past P1 Pilgrim. Whether P1 Pilgrim hit into the barrier, so it does slow you down, but they got Tatey slowly approaching behind them both. Tatey there, the time gap between these are, so Tatey there 2.6 behind P1 Pilgrim. P1 Pilgrim only just under a second behind Kiwi, but Kiwi's a further 16 seconds behind me. Now, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I could have ideally, if I refueled, I could have had just over half a tank and gone even longer, and that would have put me into play with these here, because they're, you know, they're on the racing medium now and they're going to the end, and I could have ideally, if I'd done it properly, come out in the mix. But anyway, it's not about me now, it's about these, because I'm technically out of the question. So Kiwi in second position, still being harassed by P1 Pilgrim there in third. Tatey, has he closed that gap at all to Pilgrim? No, that stayed round about the same. Charlie Boy in fifth, half a second penny above his car. Nath in sixth, Rob Smith. So we've got the two teammates together on track now, so they'll be helping each other. I'm into the pits, as you can tell, 9. Well, that fuel was just absolutely pathetic, Darren. Armain 8, Gwindon in 9, Winnie in 10. So towards the rear now, I mean, it's gap now, so there's gaps appearing, but the closest battle so far is Gwindon there in the Nissan GTR versus the Aston Martin GR4. Traction better with that Nissan, not so great with the Aston Martin, and he's defending the inside there. RMA on exit. The Nissan will had supreme grip on exit the corners over the Aston Martin GL4. I'm coming out the pits now, so I've just come out behind, and yes, Darren, you clever boy, you've now refueled up. Now I'm on the racing medium. To be honest, when I come out in the racing medium, they felt so much better than the racing soft. I wish I started on them, to be honest with you. So P1 Program now resumes the lead of the race, but I think Kiwi will want that position back off of P1 Pilgrim, because if he can get in front of P1 Pilgrim, he can extend that gap at the front. What happened there? What happened? There was some major lag going on there from Kiwi. Yes, so it wasn't just me, it was actually Kiwi as well having connection issues in this race. So Kiwi got that jump onto P1 Pilgrim, dived down the inside, very late on the brake there, Kiwi. So he's got the jump now onto P1 Pilgrim. So Kiwi now be looking to break away, but P1 Pilgrim won't let him get away so easily. Just try not to pick up a penalty, sit behind, and if you can, get him on the straight, because I think he's only half revving this car. Drop down a gear to 4th, back onto that accelerator. Yeah, he's not fully revving this car out, so he's trying to manage that fuel and the tyre wear as well. Further back we go, because something's going on further back. I think that's the two, yeah, so the two teammates here battling it out on track. Beamer Man there pulls to the inside of his teammate Slow Seamus, and they're both side by side. They head up the incline. Slow Seamus now just behind his teammate, so they're working together. Even though they're quite a way back, Beamer Man outbrakes himself ever so slightly, so Beamer Man has got it all to, now he's back behind his teammate Slow Seamus, so Beamer Man down to 13th position. What can he do? If he just sits behind his teammate Slow Seamus there, half a second penalty, gets rid of it, so Beamer Man retakes the lead of the race, 12th position. So he's ahead of his teammate again. So these two having their own little battle further on back. El Cazador Tachillo in 11th, Winnie there in 10th, half a second penny above his car, myself in 9th. Now it's for me to try and get past these two cars up ahead, because I can see Rob Smith and Nave. I could see them in the distance, but it was getting on by these two, and it's not easy to do around this track. 32 minutes in, around about 18 minutes to go. It's for anyone to win this race. That's just how it is. Nathan in 5th, Charlie Boy in 4th. These two still battling away. We've got P1 Pilgrim and Kiwi battling out. So Kiwi resuming the lead of the race. And now, can he just put his foot to the floor even more and break away from P1 Pilgrim? Because he's going to have to do the race in medium. We are driven on the rear of that car. Please check them out on Facebook. So no, Kiwi there a little bit wide on entry, but P1 Pilgrim there closing the gap slightly to Kiwi. So yes, Kiwi is but he's into the barrier, so that's going to slow Kiwi up a little bit. Looking back to Pilgrim to P1 Tatey. P1 Tatey comfortable 3rd at the minute, and again P1 Pilgrim into that barrier. Just clipping it ever so slightly, but you know, you'll be surprised how much of an effect that does have on the car. It does slow you down. So P1 Pilgrim there hasn't got to move on to Kiwi, but Tatey is just waiting as well. So Tatey can see P1 Pilgrim behind, no one behind him, so his full attention is onto P1 Pilgrim. Charlie Boy pushing it now, he's in 4th, Nathan 5th, Rob Smith in 6th, RMA in 7th, myself in 8th. I've got past Matey there in 9th, so I'm pushing it even more. And again, I didn't manage that fuel. No. Well done, Darren, not. So RMA is my next target, to try and get on by RMA cleanly, safely. Rob Smith now protecting his teammate Nave. So Nave is the lead Porsche runner at the minute. So Rob Smith, if I do come up behind Rob Smith will try and defend against me. We'll wait and see what happens. So Kiwi leading away on lap number 16. Not too far to go at all. Fastest lap so far is done by myself, 2:05.609. When did I do that? I can't remember that. So P1 Tatey in third, but I think Pilgrim is closing up again to Kiwi there. Kiwi into that barrier, so yeah, see how much of an effect it does have. So with Kiwi hitting into that barrier, look at P1. I know P1 Pilgrim's going to have to pit, but he's in prime attack mode onto Kiwi, and he goes on by on the outside there. Kiwi will jump into the slipstream of the... No, he does not. He thinks better of it, and he's going to do it under braking, is he? Oh, a little bit of rubbing there, a little bit of rubbing, sends him out wide. Knew what he'd done, Kiwi, so he just backed off the accelerator. Good sportsmanship there from Kiwi, and just let P1 Pilgrim resume the lead of the race. So P1 Tatey now has capitalised on that. So P1 Tatey in that third position can quite possibly get the jump onto Kiwi. That's if Kiwi does an error, which I'm pretty sure he won't do. But P1 Tatey almost into the side of that barrier, but he's kept it on the grey stuff and not clipped the barrier. So now he can pull away from... Sorry, he can gain to the back of Kiwi in second position. Shake on with that wheel. I don't know if he's on the pad or anything like that. He must be, but it seems to be glitching that car. Or is it just the control pad maybe? Jolly Boy in fourth. He's now in a position too, because he isn't too far away from the top three. I think now it's hammer time for Jolly Boy to close up to first, second and third and try and compete for the win of this race. So P1 Pilgrim into the pits. Nath as well. Nath is pushing it, but he's clipped into that barrier. So Nath is pushing it as well to bridge that gap. Rob Smith, I think Rob Smith knew I was catching up to both of them. But by me catching up to both of them, I was using double amount of fuel than they was. So P1 Pilgrim getting his tyres changed. He's standing in the pits. Gwendon there in 8th position with P1 Winnie in 9th. Chachillo in 10th. So Seamus in 11th. So Seamus got by RMA in the pit stops, but Beamer Man is behind RMA in 13th position. So can Beamer Man there get the move done onto RMA while RMA's tyres are still cold? We'll wait and see, because the Merc has got pretty good top end, to be honest with you. Around this section here, flat out, lifts a little bit, just steady the car in. RMA clips into that barrier, so that's going to slow him down. So Beamer Man, perfect opportunity now for him to go on the inside, which he has. A little bit of Robin there. Robin's racing, as they say, but unfortunately Beamer Man hit into the barrier, and he's just apologised, just flashes lights. So up we go. Kiwi leading the way on lap number 18. We've got just over 12 minutes to go, and P1 Tatey, his stalking his prey, in first position. And we've got Jolly Boy up to third. So Nath up to fourth. So Jolly Boy, depending how he goes, can he get the win in this race? He is around about, say, 11 seconds behind first position. How is Kiwi's fuel? Kiwi may or may not go to the end. He may have to do a splash and dash maybe. Tatey as well. So Jolly Boy is in that position to quite possibly get the win in this race, but Nath isn't too far behind. So Nath being harassed by his teammate now, because I think they can see me behind. Like I said, I was overusing the fuel. There I am there, just coming around that right-hander. So I'm pushing it even more. My fuel, I'm using it more, because with the Porsche they can save that more than me, the fuel wise, because they're working together as a team. When you got a teammate, it's handy. So I'm in 6th, still with the fastest lap. Let's have a quick look back, see what's going on. No, but it's all gap now to the rear. So it's all about the win. Who can get that number 1, number 2, number 3? Can Nath compete? Can Rob compete? I don't think I can compete. I think I'm a bit too far back to mix with the top 3. So Rob Smith and Nath, if they do it right, they can work together and get that, try and close up to the final podium spots. I think Jolly Boy will be a bit too far ahead. I think Jolly Boy's gunning for the win. But Kiwi there has extended that gap. Around about 10 minutes to go. They're going to have to pit again, these two, 100%. They won't be able to save that fuel in 10 minutes. They'll run out of that fuel. So Jolly Boy in 3rd. He can see these. No, you cannot see them up ahead. So the gap's still quite large, but Jolly Boy, give him a lap or 2, he'll be up their rear end, or they will be in the pits. So Jolly Boy, he's gunning for that number 1 spot. His first win of the season. Nath and Rob Smith helping each other out. Rob just sitting in that slipstream, just protecting his teammate. There I am, dipping down that, and then coming up the incline now. but Rob squealed them tyres, so quite a heavy brake in there from Rob. So myself and Sip, I'm closing this gap, but as you look now, in a minute, I can't remember where it was, my daughter came in the room. She said something about a cut on her finger. We'll come back to that in a minute. I lost a bit of ground to the two Porsches. So Kiwi, he is going to have to go into the pits when, I'm not sure. But the time gap between... What's going on with the sound? This is very quiet. So P1, Tatey and Kiwi, they're going to have to do that second pit stop, 100%. Sorry, that third pit... No, second. Third it'll be, won't it? No. Second. Oh, I don't know. So Tatey's in the pits. Charlie Boy will be promoted to second. Interesting to see where these two are. So Nathan, Rob... There I am coming to catch the two Porsches if I can. So yeah, Tatey now dropping down. So that pit stop has affected him. Kiwi, the time gap between Kiwi and Jardy Boy is 11 seconds. So 100% Jardy Boy is going to resume the lead of the race once Kiwi pits. When, we don't know. Nape is pushing it now from his teammate. Myself in that fifth position. I can see the two Porsches, and I was trying to save that fuel as well, but I'll just say we're pushing it. Winnie there in sixth. Good race for Winnie so far. Tatey in seventh. Chachillo in eighth. Dropped back quite a bit actually. RMA in ninth. Beamer Man in 10th. So good points for Beamer Man for his first outing for the Infinity Series. Slow Seamus in 11th and Gwindon in 12th. We lost Pilgrim. Disconnection, he said. Yeah, he said disconnection. So there was troubles that evening with the game. It was odd for me as well. So Nathan Furr, Rob Smith. So Rob Smith is still behind his teammate, and there's me. I'm closing that gap little by little, lap after lap, and again using so much fuel. So Nathan that third, final podium spot. Jardy Boy in second. Kiwi, he's gonna have to pit. The time gap between these two is a 11.6 second gap. So can Jardy Boy be on to his first win of the season? It's good. It's good, to be honest with you, not having the same winner week in, week out, because let's be honest, it does get a bit frustrating, the same winner. So in League 3, we've had Rob Smith, we've had Nave, we've had myself. Is it going to be Jardy Boy's time? Or will Nave get that second win? Rob Smith, we don't know. I don't think I'm out of it. So you count me out of it. Right about now I was lifting off, I was backing off a little bit, so I knew I wouldn't have enough fuel to get to the end. So this is giving Jardy Boy that number one position, and he can technically go for the win in this race. He's got enough fuel to bridge that gap between him and Nate. So we've got the two Porsches, second and third there. Myself in that fourth position. So in regards to fuel, almost matching and Nave. So second, third and fourth matching on fuel. Charlie Boy got a little bit more than us three behind, but Kiwi now out the pits on the racing medium. The gap's a bit too large for him to close up. Tatey there and sit from where he was earlier on in the race. He's done a good old job. Chachillo unfortunately dropped down to 7th. RMA in 8th. Had a good race, bit coming together with certain drivers at the beginning, which affected him and it slowed him down. Where he would have been without them incidents, we don't know. We have no idea at all. He could have been a bit further up, but he's currently sitting in 8th. Slow Seamus in that 9th position, looking to go to the end with the fuel. With Winnie there being coming under pressure now for Gwindon there in the 11th position, and Beamer Man unfortunately to the rear. We have lost P1 Pilgrim, so he's gonna have to dive into the pits, Beamer Man, just to get a bit of fuel. Charlie Boy, the time gap between him and, let's go back quickly because this gap has closed. To be honest with you, I can't remember where. I think it was the next lap when my daughter came into the room. So Rob Smith and Nave, they can see me. They can see me now, and I can see them. It's like, hello, Mr. Porsche boys, come to play. So second and third, Nave breaking away a bit from his teammate. I think Rob told Nave just to go on by and just to push it a little bit. But yeah, I'm in fourth and say no more. So Kiwi in 5th. He could have been in for the shout of the win as well, but he wasn't. Come this sort of period of the race, he's now down to 5th, and he had the potential, in all honesty, to win this race. P1 Tatey in that 6th position. He as well could have got a podium out of this. The nature of the track, how many times you hit the barrier, it does slow you down, it does have an effect. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's the truth. So RMA in 8th, Slow Seamus in 9th, Winnie in 10th, Gwindon in 11th, and Beamerman in 12th position. So we've got a bit of battle on there for 10th, 11th and 12th, but Charlie Boy almost there for his first win of the season, fair play to him. So now, I am right behind Rob Smith. So Rob Smith can see me. He's trying to break that slipstream. I was like looking at the fuel gauge. I was like, am I going to have enough to get to the end? I don't think I will. But they're on the same amount of fuel. I think it's touch and go whether I run out of fuel before the end. So now I can see Rob Smith. Rob Smith, I don't think he gave a fight. He just stayed to the inside line. Just had the better entry into the corner and defend. But I think we had a little bit of coming together. There was nothing intentional, nothing like that. So yeah, I dive in. He runs a little bit wide into me. Rubbin's racing. That didn't bother me at all, Rob. You know, it happens. You know, it happens in racing. So Rob Smith now down to 4th, and it's for me to try and catch up to Nath there in that 2nd position, and I'm 2 seconds behind Nath. And again, I'm watching Nath and I'm watching the fuel. So on board with Nath now, looking back to me. There's me behind Nath. So I was watching the fuel, watching Nath plus watching behind. So Rob Smith behind, Nath in front. The fuel was getting low. So it's 3 things at once I was doing. And as you see there, I went a little bit wide. That's because I was watching the fuel gauge. It was dropping quite rapidly. I just overused the fuel, and if I done it correctly at the first pit stop and refueled to the maximum, I could have underfueled at my 2nd stop, and then, you know, who knows where I would have been. Because Charlie Boy isn't too far up the road. There's us coming around underneath that bridge, and it's between Charlie Boy and Rob Smith. You're looking around about 8 seconds there or thereabouts. It wasn't large at all. It was anyone's win for the taking. Went on to the final lap soon. So Charlie Boy doing a good job. Saved that fuel at the beginning, which is in his rights to do, and that's paid out for him this moment in time. So he's now heading on to, I don't think this is the last lap, the next lap after will be the last lap. So Charlie Boy heading on to the penultimate lap of the race. Nathan's 2nd. Look at my fuel. So I had to lift off a bit more. Rob Smith, he was in the same position as me, but I can't remember what happened after that. So Kiwi there into the barrier. P1 Tatey in 5th, Kiwi in 6th, Tachillo in 7th, dropped quite a way back now. RMA in 8th, Gwindon in 9th, Winnie there in 10th, so Seamus in 11th, and Beamerman there to the rear in 12th position. Charlie Boy, good race from Charlie Boy. He's done it right. Strategy's paid off at this moment in time. Backed off, saved that fuel, looked after the tyres as well, and this moment in time it is 100% paying off for him. Nathan's 2nd position. I closed the gap to Nate, but as you can tell, my fuel light is flashing. I was like, right, am I going to get to the end? This is the worrying thing, because I noticed Rob Smith, he did back off quite a bit, looking after that fuel as well, so he has enough if he does an extra lap. P1 Tatey as well, he's got enough fuel to do an extra lap. So we'll have finishers before the final lap, so we'll come back to this in a minute. But Jardy Boy, outstanding job from Jardy Boy. Not too far to go till he starts his final lap of this race. Win number 1 of the season for him, if he can get it, that is, over Nath, but who knows, who knows. Jardy Boy, come around this final bit now. We'll do on board with Jardy Boy. He, like the 2 Porsches, and his teammate as well at the beginning, done the perfect strategy. And they say strategy is key in racing. I get that half the time, but this evening they came out on top and I was a loser. It was my own fault, my own doing. Just blame myself. So, coming up to that timing line now, Rob Smith just backed it off. I tried to back it off because I knew I won't have enough to get to the end. And boom. I'm starting the final lap with that. So this was lean 6 and see how far I could go. Rob Smith is a see, this was odd. This was odd. I was still going, but I classified on everyone else's. I was third. On mine, I kept dropping down. And I didn't know why. There was major bugs in this game. So Rob Smith was 4th, Tatey 5th, Kiwi 6th, RMA 7th, Chachillo would be in 8th, Winnie there in 9th, Gwindon in 10th, so Seamus in 11th, Beamer Man will be in 12th. That's how it finished on everyone else's. On mine, it was completely different. Charlie Boy almost there for his first win of the season. And will he get the win? You see what I mean? My game was so bugged. Even though I'm still going round, it was strange. It was strange. Charlie Boy not too far to go. So Nath in 2nd. Good points again for Nath. Charlie Boy as well. Good points haul for him. And they're coming around now. Not too far to go to complete the final lap of the race itself. So yeah, it's frustrating how this ended on my screen, but on other people's screen it was fine. And as you could tell at the beginning of this replay, I had no timing at all, no length for the race, nothing like that. But on this, it's counting down. It was a weird one. But I crossed the line in 3rd, so 3rd was mine. Charlie Boy flashing them lights. Fantastic job from Charlie Boy. He's coming through to take his first win of the race, and will he make it to the line? That is. So Charlie Boy, fantastic job from you, my friend. You do take your first win of the season. You get maximum points for the race win. Fantastic job from him. Fantastic job. Well done, Charlie Boy. Nath as well, coming around now. Nath in 2nd position. Good points from Nath as well. But that was League 3, Season 5, the Infinity GT Manufacturer Series. Check out St. Corey A in a couple of weeks' time. I won't be doing that straight away. But I've been Idlefull Gaming. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much. Well done again. Alright, thank you. Bye-bye.